Gemini, how you doing? Welcome to your energy tarot reading here on the Astroflower, going from the not the 4th to the 10th of November. I'm getting all my figures in the wrong way. Yeah, welcome to the energy update. Have you seen the energy, not the energy update, your energy tarot? Have you seen the energy update? Blimey, I'm getting it all 6s and 7s here. You know, is that what's going on for you? Is that what's going on for Gemini at the moment? Yeah, so, yeah, have you seen the energy update? You know, there's a transition of energies at the moment. We're moving into air and water, and we'll be looking into how that's affecting your sign, because you're an air sign as well, and looking for the connections within the petals. We'll see that in a little bit later on. But in the meantime, let's just bring up the Astroflower and let's get some messages for you today, and pull some tarot cards. So let's just see what's going on here. So here's your overall energy here. I mean, there's a vortex of energy. It's you, Gemini, that's really causing me the problems, is it? Right, it's a vortex of energy. It's like, you know, as I say, there's a lot of air out there at the moment. And Gemini, you do think a lot. You're big thinkers, and it's very internal thinking. And this is why you're good at creating plans and so forth of how to do things and what order to do things in, because you do think a lot about things. And I think here is like, you need to give yourself a bit of a break here. I don't think you have every single solution from within you. I think the solutions are part of what we have from within us as individuals, but also how we apply them in the outside world. And don't expect the outside world to think exactly the same as you. Keep your expectations low and you'll be pleasantly surprised. But a bit of meditation could be in order. It seems to be a little bit of vortex energy that's going on in your life at the moment, real sort of changes. There's a real desire though to get out there and enjoy life. I think it's a good vortex of energy that's coming through you. And on your financial side, it's starting and getting the next stage of your life into action. It's like, right, okay, I've got this, I've got that, okay, what's the next step? That's the sort of scenario that I'm getting out of it, okay? And the overall energies, you get the 7 of Cups. This is it, don't overthink things. On the 7 of Cups here, there's only one cup that's giving you water. That is the evident path. That's the one you should be following. All the other ones are illusions. There's a lot of illusions in the world. You can find loads of illusions on YouTube. Some crazy things going on. But for you, on a personal level, I think you need to sort of quieten that voice, or quieten that butterfly feeling within you, and use that vortex to really push things on in your life, and being really singular about it more than anything else. You know, it's a good awakening that's going on in your soul, a really good awakening that's going on in you. Seeing the world really for what it is. Let's just see what's going on the relationship side. Your karmic path here is really straight up. It's almost as if sort of say, this is how it's going to have to be. This is what we got to do. And you're not going to move forward until you do that. So there's something that you need to address. And I think it's to do with you and how you engage in the world around you. And this could be to do with your expectations and so forth. On your interaction with the outside world, yeah, you want to get out there, but in a way, I think your karmic path is sort of saying you're not going to get out there until you sort this stuff out. So there is a little bit of frustration there about that. You know, there's more quantity rather than quality going on in that respect. In your past self here, your past self plays into that. I think all of those illusionary sort of cups that are around that one cup that's giving the good stuff, you know, you've seen it all, and you know, you're now starting to see through the veil of the past and seeing, you know, who really, you know, some people might say to you one thing and they don't deliver, and that's the sort of feeling I get from the past. It's a real revelation for you. In your future self here, the dawning of a new day, dawning of your new happiness within you, And what's the lesson that comes out of this week here? Occasionally you've got to wipe the slate clean. So when you're planning for things, or when you're engaging in the world, or engaging in your spirit and your emotional path, don't bring anything from the past at the moment. Literally start with a blank page. Start afresh. That's the sort of scenario I'm getting out of it. 2 of Cups. Now this could be getting you in alignment with someone else, or it maybe you've met your divine counterpart, your twin flame or something like that sort of scenario. You've got this sort of, it's your karmic path is, as I was saying, it's a block straight up, and that's pretty much what that 2 of Cups is. That's a block that goes straight up out of those 2 cups there, and it's like you've got to get in alignment with yourself in order to get in alignment with another person. And I think there is another person there that you need to get in alignment with. But it starts, we can only control from what in us, of what we put out there. That's the only thing we can really control. Okay? And in your connection to the universe, there's a lot of socializing, a lot of sort of like spontaneity and stuff like that around you. There's quantity of it. Not necessarily quality, but it's helping you to be a lot more sort of vibrant and stuff like that. I would get engaged with the world around you. You might be getting engaged with someone, but I meant engaged in sort of like engaging in your happiness and your joy and stuff like that. I think it's a good idea. You might find it a little bit frustrating from occasionally because it didn't live up to its dreams. In your past self, manifesting something new. I think there's a lot of revelation in your past, basically, that sort of now put you in a position sort of saying, I'm going to treat, this is that clean slate that you've manifested this fresh page, as it were, in your life in regards to relationships and emotions and so forth. And in your future self, you get the Strength card. I think it's going to make you a lot stronger. I think it's going to make you a lot happier. I think you're going to feel like you're in a lot more control over what happens to you in your life because you've started this adventure. You've started a new page. You've started to get in line with yourself. And once you're in line with yourself, then that's it. It's much easier to get in line with someone else. And there's 3 of Pentacles out the top there. It's doing that work, having the slate clean, and being able to look at things with fresh eyes will then, I think people will appreciate that around you. It's gonna open up to good quality connections with people. So I think this is very temporary at the moment. It's sort of like getting out there and getting involved. I think now it's sort of like this week here, you're starting to really sort of streamline those sort of connections with people around you and starting to get in line with people that are really in line with you because you're getting in line with yourself. I think this week here is a big week of getting in line with yourself more than anything else on your relationship side. Sometimes we do much more work within the relationship when we do work upon ourselves. So then you give the space, the time, and the respect to a relationship to grow as well. So, and I think that's what you're doing here. That's what the general feeling I'm getting from this week here. On your financial side, let's just see what's going on there. It's like you want to take your karmic path is sort of saying, okay, you've now got to take this idea seriously. It's like you've got an idea to do something, and your karmic path is kind of going, are you going to ignore it forever? Okay, on the connections with the universe or with the people that are around you, with your sort of networking, This is very straight as well. A little bit like the karmic path here. It's almost sort of like, in a way, it's blocking the outside world so it doesn't confuse you. So it keeps you very clear and clean on the evident path that you should be going along. But at the same time, it's also sort of like vetting any sort of connections with the world around you. So if you do get a connection this week, it's probably going to be very, very important. Okay, you know, with another person, like, could be about, you get you hear about a job or a business opportunity, or someone comes into your business to sort of saying, look, we'd like to invest in your business or what have you, or work for you, and you know, and if it really ticks all the boxes, definitely go for it. Definitely go for it. Or ticks a lot of the boxes. Let's just see what goes on in the past here. The past is also playing into that. There's a lot getting sorted from within you more than anything else. It's almost as like the past has sort of said, you've tried a lot of things, but you've tried. And you should never try in life, I don't think. You should either do it or you don't. And I think that's what you might have had difficulty with. You know, sort of like, it's like, you know, you start a business, a sideline business, and you kind of go, well, I'll buy a few things and I'll try a little bit. And yeah, you try, you get a little bit in, but you don't get really massive amounts, and you kind of go, well, it doesn't work then. Well, it could have worked. You know, it could have worked. But, and we all do it, don't worry. We all do it, you know. And I think here is now, it's sort of like, you know, with the karmic path sort of saying, how long can you ignore this idea? I think with the past there, it's coming up a little bit to bite you in the backside in a way. In the future self, this is galvanizing that idea on your karmic path. It's like your future's sort of saying, unless you really seriously look at this idea, like it could be a business idea or a project, or you know, a new job or new career or whatever, you know, if you've been getting that idea, don't ignore it. And in the future, it's sort of saying the only way out is to entertain this idea that you're having. And what's the lessons from this week here? Learning to trust yourself. Learning to trust your intuition. Learning to trust yourself. On your karmic path, you get the 3 of Swords. I think you've caused yourself pain, yes. I've been saying it for the past year, I think, year and a half. There is this opportunity that is arising that you need to take. And I almost feel like, because of the way the karmic path is here, it's almost like last chance saloon in a way for this idea. And in, you know, 10 to 15 years time, you may look back and kind of go, oh wow, if I'd have done that idea, it would have been brilliant. Or, you know, you might, you know, yeah, it's not that you won't never get another opportunity to get success in life. That's not what it is. But for this opportunity here, seems like the door is closing. 6 of Pentacles within the universe there, in your connection, that went straight up. As well, sort of saying, you know, only going to bring in good quality stuff. It's going to take time, but I think you're going to get there. You've got to, once you start working on it, I think you're going to realize that this idea, this opportunity that you've been umming and ahhing over is actually going to be, if you put in the effort into it, I think you'll get the good results. And from your past here, this is you know, the past is sort of saying here is that joyous, vibrant energy that you can have about a situation. Once you start working on a plan, once you start doing something and really know where you're going, that's when the joy will start flowing. And I think this is what you've learned from the past as well, which is like the past is the past, but now you've got to move on to your future. And it's forcing you down that direction. That actually, once you start working on this idea, you're going to realize how much fun it is, and how much money or how much success you can get out of it. In your future self, yeah, I think this has got great legs on it. This idea, I think you're converting that because this is on the financial side, not on the relationship side. This is not about emotional split up. This is about stress you're creating yourself. And once you realise that and start let go of it, that's when the Six of Swords can then allow things to move on slowly but surely, but get you there. And you're going to feel very invigorated about it. Very, very invigorated about it. What's the lessons that come out of this week here? You get the Six of Cups. The past journey has taught you is teaching you to recognize that even the journey itself is the most enjoyable part. And I think once you engage in this idea, that's when you're going to enjoy the journey. Once you get to the end, yeah, it's the end, isn't it? You know, you want to do something else. But at the moment, I think you've got to really enjoy the journey. So let's get on and see how the energies are influencing your sign and how they're influencing any particular sort of petals. Let's just bring up the sun, bring out that and bring up the sun. There we go, my transitions are getting even better. Wow. This is the sun from earlier on this week. This is go from Monday through to the latter stages of the week. There was a few X-flares at the last weekend and the beginning of last week. Nothing really came in our direction. Nothing at all really. It created a lot more air energy, and this is what could be this vortex that is inside you at the moment. We did have an X-flare go off on Friday. I don't think it's going to be sending anything in our direction. I think it was much more to do with light or air energy, if you like. So it was reinvigorating or finalizing, or the air energy that is in the earth. We also have a lot of filaments around, less in the way of corona holes, less in the way of earth energies, but much more in the water and air. And we did have a filament, quite a large filament eruption, but it happened in front of the earth, so it's didn't affect the earth in any way. It just created a lot more mental energy, which was generated out of emotions. And you can see that happening here on the base there of the sun as it pops out before the earth. So we're going to be looking at mainly water and air connections within your sign. So let's just bring your sign up. Here it is here. You've got this, one thing you should notice, and I say it every time, you've got this air at the top with fire at your base, okay? And no air in the center of you at all. And this is why you like, having programs, processes to do things, steps in order to get somewhere, because that is within you seems very logical. And that gives you the logical outcome and makes you, appreciate what you're doing in life and your connections to life. So we're looking at the air and water connections. Now you have that water that comes in from Cancer, and we're looking at this sort of connection here between your future and the lessons to be learned out of this week here. It seems to be the most driving thing more than anything else, and it's probably this vortex energy here is probably shooting out into the world around you, trying to get those Two of Cups into alignment. The other air and water, there is no other real sort of air and water apart from that water that comes in through this section here, which comes through from Pisces, another mutable sign. So I'd like to look at this sort of like connection here of what is going on between the Six of Swords and the Page of Wands. Probably going to get some good ideas of how that can, how the energies around you can help you to put all of this into place. So let's just bring up your cards again. Here we go. So let's just pull a few cards on the messages that are coming through. We're looking at this water that's coming through in this section here, coming through here, and we're going to see where how it sort of like plays out between the Strength card and the Three of Pentacles. How can this help us with the evident path that you should be following? Working to a plan. Working to what a plan is working, the plan is you getting in alignment with yourself. That's what the energy is doing. And the energy is sort of saying to you, you've got to stay strong and true to you. No half measures here, Gemini, no half measures. It will bode incredibly well for you though, that's the thing. It's not instantaneous results, but it's definitely going to bring you in some good results. And it puts you in a very, very powerful position with the King of Wands. Another thing which I didn't go into, which you might have seen, is that you actually have a lot more fire in your sign than you do air. And that is possibly where this air energy is trying to encourage your passions for your life, for you to sit in your power and to follow that plan of action of getting into alignment with yourself. I think that's what the energies are trying to do for you here. And it's good quality work. And it's going to be recognized by everybody that is around you. Cody, viens là, viens là. My dog has just found a car to drive after, ride after, run after. Okay, on the connection here on between the Six of Swords and the Page of Wands, you get the King of Swords. Now this is very much a you card. This is you being you. And I think maybe after a time of stress and strain in regards to it, you might have been in a job that you know, there might have been under a bit of pressure whether you still got the job or the company's going to work or something like that. You know, you've had this sort of like pressure on you, and it's you reinvigorating you, having this clear sort of wisdom and judgment about life. Yeah, and you get the Seven of Wands as well here. So this is to do with the Six of Swords. Wasn't the message sort of trust yourself? And that is you. I think the energy is trying to say to you here, trust yourself. Trust your inner wisdom and your inner vision. And the Seven, like the Seven of Cups, it's a revelation to you. It's revealing the evident path. And this evident path is built out of previous successes, which ties into the Page of Wands. This success of life is to do with how much you enjoy it, how much it invigorates you. And yeah, do you have to defend it? Not when you live in it. If you just go ahead and live life, life defends you all by itself. You don't have to defend yourself. But you do need to get into the joy of creating something. And I think once you get into that, the whole process and that planning for it, I think you're going to get some really good results and feel really good about your life. There you go. Yes, energy update you'll find on this channel. I hope you get the best out of these readings. I'll see you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.